We are back in Houston, Texas. Sean Lenning going up against Vic Perez for the WPH Race for 8, stop number 3 at the Telespin Family YMCA. My name is Dave Vincent. Sean Lenning first serve here to the right against Vic Perez, sponsoring the LAAC in SoCal, and hits the ball right in the ground. Vic Perez, current U.S. Open doubles champion, alongside Marco Chavez. Sean Lenning has not been able to get out of this round in Houston since we started doing pro stops here. Losing to Anthony Celesto in the round of 16, 2 years in a row.
1.
But this is a different Sean Lenning. You could almost put all the marbles on the fact that he's not going to lose in this round this year, as Sean has really stepped up his workout regimen, refocused his whole life. Playing a lot of handball in Tucson, Arizona. He's relocated down to the Handball Hall of Fame and headquarters of the WPH. Playing Sean, Sean is playing guys like Abraham Montijo and Luis Moreno, Danny Perez, Chris Maldonado, David Fink. Those are pretty big names to have at your disposal at any opportunity. And not just those guys. He's literally playing every single player he could possibly play down in Tucson.
Point. Play 0.
As we welcome in Dave Fink.
Thank you, Dave.
Second serve.
Sean off to a real quick start here, Dave. And Vic is a slow starter and Sean is a very fast starter. I heard you as I was getting mic'd up here, Dave. An amazing shot from Sean. That Sean is playing everybody in Tucson. And, Dave, I can attest to this. I haven't been to the club once in 5 months when Sean wasn't there. And I know he's there on the days I'm not there.
Yeah, he's
easily
plays more handball than anybody on the planet. And that includes those kids that are infected by the handball virus, the ones that you see that are 10, 11, 12 years old that are always playing handball down at the club.
6-0.
I know that some people don't have that luxury, but it truly does happen. Sean's literally playing every single day. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Side out. 0, play 6.
Sometimes you watch a match and you see a player making some pretty good shots and you say, wow, this is really competitive. Then you look at the score and see it's 0-6, not in their favor. Earlier was one of those matches, Dave, you said George Watson, when he was playing his match, you go, this guy can play. Well, at that point, another 10 minutes went by and it was a timeout, and I said, I watched you in there. You're hitting some amazing kill shots. You look really good. I go, what's the score? And he goes, I'm losing 0-20.
Yeah.
It was just, right when we thought that he was, playing well. And that just sort of like happens sometimes. You have to, against these pros, you can't just play well when you're returning the serve. You have to do it when you're serving, when it really does matter. And that's what Sean seems to do well when he's in the server's box.
Well, there's a big difference that we have our first time out here, Dave, between looking good and actually being successful. You see a lot of guys on the driving range and even on the tee box, and you say, what'd you shoot, 73, 74? No, 98. It's not everyone can go in there and put it together when you have to do it just because you've got a good-looking swing. Now here you've got 2 seasoned pros. Vic Perez has been to the quarterfinals a number of times. He's beat some top players, including Armando Ortiz at the last event, and Charlie Shanks, Dave, who made it to number 1. Sean Lenning has had terrible results here in Houston, never made it out of the first round. In fact, Dave, he was the number 1 seed here in the race for 8-2. That was in 2013. Luis Moreno didn't play that year. Sean was seeded number 1, lost in the first round. First time ever that a lucky loser took out a top seed. Lost to the same guy last year, but it looks like that jinx is over with here today, Dave. And you have to remember, he's only defending 1 point here. So any points he scores here by winning this match will jump him in the rankings. We could easily see him
number 3.
Well, actually he'll need a couple more stops, but he will jump into the top 7 most likely. He's in a nice little section of the draw here, Dave, where
I'm gonna call screen ball
if he
front.
wins this, he'll go on and
Screen
play the winner of Steve Cooney
0 plays
and
8
Armando
over.
Ortiz. Now, we have some inside information, Dave. Armando doesn't feel all that well.
Yeah.
And that's a match I was looking forward to watching. Now, you never know. Sometimes.
Well, you are going to watch it because it'll happen right here
Second
live.
serve.
No, but I'm saying, you don't know. I'm saying how somebody that doesn't feel well is going to play all the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, it might. It's just going to tighten the score even more because you would think that Mondo, if he was playing the best he could possibly play, Stephen Cooney would be at a disadvantage. But with Mondo being sick, now you think Steve Cooney's got the advantage. Mondo's a fighter, so now you got some strange things going on there. It might be a very close one. Closer than we thought.
I was fast forwarding to Mondo and Sean, but that was respectful of you and obviously disrespectful of me to gloss over our newest star, the blonde bombshell 2.
Second serve.
Stephen Cooney, or is he the red bombshell? He's one of those strawberry blondes.
Well,
hate to have to go.
while you're waiting in line at Macy's,
yeah,
in the hair coloring and makeup section, I was at work. Actually working. So I don't know all the definitions of hair color and fingernail polish, but I appreciate that you're
when
trying
was
to
the last time
keep
you got
our
a haircut, though?
edge. Well,
9 plays 0.
I mean, not from yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from an actual stylist.
It had to have been in the 80s,
Okay.
maybe 90s. Maybe 90s. Not as bad as it seems.
No.
Look at Sean's able to get right there.
Yeah.
He swings and misses, but
we saw Sean Lenning, and I say we, I mean I,
0 plays
lose to
9.
Luis last week in the No Frills final, and that really surprised me, Dave. Not because, Luis has been beating Sean for the last couple of years, but just the way that the two have been preparing lately. We haven't seen Luis at all. He's been a ghost at the club. He's been traveling and vacationing. Sean has been so diligent about his training. They could be on a collision course, though, here.
wow, that's a terrible setup. Sean puts it away. Sean wearing a right knee brace.
I believe, Dave, this is the Tucson Racket
plays
Club
1.
section of the draw. With Sean Lenning, Luis Moreno, and myself all in that bottom quarter, potentially.
Yeah.
10 plays 1.
I know there's going to be some rumblings over there, Dave, about how this draw worked out. You've got all the locals playing each other, kind of like the Little League World Series.
Hinder ball.
Abe Montijo in that upper bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could. Sean, we're going to do it over. He just stuck his arm out. He couldn't even get to the ball at all. So we're going to do it 10 plays 1 over. Short.
You don't want Sean
Second
mad.
serve.
I mean, he's mad for the wrong reasons, or right reasons, or whatever you want to say, but it doesn't matter if Sean was right with that argument or not. You just don't want him mad when he's on the court. Sometimes he can just really light it up when he...
Other times, though, he gets
1
mad
plays
and kind of
10.
goes away. Depends the reason for being mad.
Short.
Well, if he's losing and he gets
Second
mad
serve.
for a kind of a petty call, that Sean doesn't seem to get motivated. But if he's already in there, that's an avoidable. That could have broke Vic's right arm. Not a word from the
plays 10.
referee. I mean, it was a point from the kill anyway, but man, that was rough. Now
That's
Vic
Vic's-
is starting to light it up
Yeah,
off
that
the
was-
back wall.
That's Vic's best shot, right off the middle of the front wall, the rollout.
3 plays
That's the
10.
shot that carried him all the way to the finals of the Canadian Nationals,
Short.
beating Andy Nett and Emmett Peixote en route to that final. I mean, that's an amazing
serve.
accomplishment there. 2013, lost to Luis Moreno in the final there. But we talked about some of Victor's wins. Charlie Shanks, Emmett Peixote, Andy Nett,
4 plays 10.
Mondo Ortiz. This guy's got the goods, Dave.
Short.
He hits the ball really hard, too.
I think he just plays a really good game with
Second
sneaky
serve.
power. He's a product of Lake Forest, so he's got that percentage handball mentality, but also the ability to light it up. Kind of a dual
10
threat.
plays 4.
Dave, Vic Perez is almost like that pitcher that he might not throw 97, but
4 plays
he knows
10.
how to hang in a game and give you a quality start. and keep you in the game and give you a chance to win it. He might, you know, even if he gives up 2 or 3 runs in the first inning, he's going to battle and give you that quality start. And that's what Sean's finding out right now. I'm really stretching the analogy here, but I think you know what I mean.
Side out.
Sean Lenning with a off-balance punch return a serve flat rollout up against the sidewall at 38 feet. Sean plays in the league in Tucson, Dave. Very competitive singles league. And he's blowing people out in that league, Dave. Undefeated. I know that you hadn't initially planned on entering that league, but couldn't. But there are some good players in there.
12 plays 5. Contact, over ball, please. Twelve plays 5 over. Short on the line, Sean. Second serve.
Dave, I want to congratulate you on that incredible Houston preview production that you put together.
5 plays 12.
Received a lot of compliments on that. That was a huge hit. A lot of people hoping that we're going to see those Dave and Dave shows before every tournament.
First of all, thank you. And secondly, more compliments than we have actual views on YouTube, which
amazing.
is which is pretty interesting because either these are people that are all watching in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that counts as one view if you have 20 people that see it.
Yeah.
Okay. The likelihood of that happening is 0, but I'm going to go ahead and say.
Actually, my dad brings people into his office to watch that.
I have had a lot of people say the same thing, but I thought, wow, that's interesting. Terrible shot from Sean. And Vic does it. Look at that shot.
Oh, my gosh.
That is unreal. And Sean looks back at the crowd and just sort of smirks. Can you believe what you just saw?
No, that was amazing. Oh,
I mean, the crowd doesn't even know what to say. Look at this.
Game point, plays 5.
Flat rollout behind the back from Sean Lenning. That is unreal. As we go back into play here. That ball hits Vic on the way to the front wall.
5 plays 14.
Now we have crazy sounds there, but now we got rid of those technical difficulties. But wow, Sean just made one of the best shots I've ever seen in my life right there.
Amazing.
It's on the highlight reel. Unfortunately, we have to do it from the Circle K security cam angle, but I mean, that's just what happens here. Because Houston has these little dots on the back wall, we have to give you angles that are probably not those that you've seen before.
6 plays 14.
In pro handball.
And after trailing 10-0, Vic has actually outscored Sean, but that's why you can't dig yourself those holes.
Sean almost looks tired here, even though he makes, I mean, the craziest shots you've ever seen in your life. I like the smirk that Sean gave the crowd as he looked back.
Point.
Remember also, Dave, that Vic has played 2 matches already today. This is Sean's first match, Vic's third. Really amazing energy at the qualifier today.
Yeah, there were some pretty interesting and fun things there.
Particularly the encore, the Adam Bernhard, Dave Munson match, amazing.
That's one people will be talking about for a long time.
Oh, that was one of the biggest galleries I've ever seen on the race tour. There's people on the 5th floor, Dave, up at the jogging track. I said jogging.
Not jogging?
No, with a hard J. Watching that from about 50 feet up, they could only see about 1/4 of the court. I think Vic might be over paddling here, Dave.
Side out.
Like nervous energy or just wanting to hit the ball too hard?
14 plays 8.
He's not, maybe not relaxed enough because Sean's playing at such a fast pace. You feel like you are never set to swing and you just start paddling every shot. I know you know that feeling when you play Sean. Feels like you're playing a match in super speed.
Yeah, you have people saying, you need to move your feet and run up to the front. You know, I can't.
guys,
He's hitting the
3
ball
minutes.
so hard. He's jamming me. I have to throw my.
Vic, you'll serve first.
You're like doing these underhand shovel shots to try to defend, and really you're just in a complete defensive position, off balance, fading backwards, and just not. In fact, it's not fun. You don't want to play the game. This is the only time I hate playing handball is when I'm playing a guy like you and Sean Lenning. We're just always just jamming balls at your feet, and I can't set up. I don't have time, and Vic's kind of feeling it a little bit as well. But that's what Sean does. He hits a heavy ball.
So Sean Lenning winning the first game here comfortably. But Dave, let's talk about that first match that was on the webcast today. It was Marcos Chavez just blowing away Adam Bernhard. What happened there, Dave?
Well, I'm surprised, and I think it was just Marcos Chavez not wanting to be that guy, although I've seen him be that guy before. He could have easily decided that he was going to start playing around. I mean, he had so much confidence in there, saying, well, I just, did that little underhand serve that I had, and I kept him off, balance, and he did. He really mixed up every serve. One time to the right underhand with about a 50% lob that you see, that 50%er. Then he goes with that 3/4, a little bit harder than you really think it's going to be, with a little wrinkle underhand up to the right. Then he goes over to the left. Then he serves left-handed. But making shots off the back wall, loading up and really hitting these lasers after he's only hit 40-mile-per-hour shots for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden he starts hitting at 90 miles an hour. And
did Adam's fatigue from his earlier overtime win have anything to do with it?
He said that he was fatigued before the match started, and I think he put himself at a deficit by saying that. I see, as I was with Abraham Montijo for that match, some of these players, like Abe said, you just have to say, this is what goes on the tour. If you can't put up with that, you just don't play. I mean, you shouldn't even be out there. And there's something to say about that. You have to actually go in and say, I've been on the court a couple times longer than you.
Yeah.
I've done things that you haven't been able to do, so I'm going to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Instead, Adam came out and said, I don't have enough time. I need to rest. I feel like I need to take a nap.
Yeah.
Well, playing a pro qualifier is stressful. You might beat the guy that you're playing.
Well, Adam's a lawyer. Sometimes in law, the judge will give you a continuance, but he didn't get one here.
Not here.
Yeah, he didn't ask for one, and he wasn't granted one.
Adam was frustrated because he would work Marcos left and right, playing a very soft, I'm just going to paddle it to the front wall with you. Marcos wondering what this guy's doing. He's playing this game with me. I'm the guy that mastered this. Marcos was going back and forth, side to side. Adam would get a back wall set up and hit it right in the ground. And it was just, just making him frustrated. It was killing him, And as the game ended, he got off, went out into the stands, sat down, and literally he was wanting to strangle somebody or cry, and I think that somebody was himself.
Yeah, that's interesting because when we debuted that match in the blind draw, I thought that was a great draw for Adam. Obviously, drawing the 7th seed, you can't do much better than that when you have other guys out there like Paul Brady, but even Marcos' style, the slow game, is what Adam likes, but apparently he ran into a better version of himself. And sometimes when that happens, it's not pretty.
Well, I just say this from an older standpoint. When you get older, when you're 40 and older, you've seen everything.
Yeah.
Okay. You look at Bernhard. He hasn't seen Marcos get 5, or a guy like Marcos get 5 ace serves on underhand flops. Marcos goes in and does this underhand serve, and he hits the crack and gets an ace, and you think, oh, that's just luck.
All right, guys.
Bernhard's not seen that, and then he does it again, and then he goes over to the left side and does it, and Bernhard's getting frustrated because he wants to engage in these rallies.
First.
That's how he seems to win.
Yeah.
And Marcos, I was making that reference about myself, I loved it when Marcos would just throw the ball in as a lob. I'm like,
This is all I know.
well, yeah, I've seen everything. I want that to happen. I'd rather you do that than those
Second
fast
game,
serves
ready?
that Luis
Zero,
Moreno's been
play
giving me
zero.
in practice.
Yeah.
But Bernhard didn't know what to do with those. It was
Short
just
ball.
completely different for him. He was frustrated. The young guys get frustrated with that. The older guys like it. And when
Second serve.
Bernhard started lobbying and doing 2-wall Z serves to Marcos, he was flat rolling them out. He was like, what is this guy doing?
It's funny, I watched the end of Bernhard and Dave Munson's qualifier match with Marcos.
Play zero.
There was a ball at match point down that came off the back wall and slid the right sidewall from 38 feet. Marcos said, that's a setup. You got to shoot that.
Short.
And that's Marcos' mentality.
Yeah, and you were thinking to yourself, I don't know. I'm
Second
flipping
serve.
that back
I'm
around.
flipping it back, and Dave actually did flip it back, which wasn't a bad play, but Marcos he's thinking that's that's an opportunity to end the rally from 38 feet stuck on the side wall. Love to see Vic come out here with a little bit more intensity and a little bit more purpose in this game.
I think he's doing it here, and I think he sensed that Sean was getting tired toward the end of that game number 1. And there's a third point now for Vic Perez. We might even see a timeout if Vic scores one more. Now, speaking of other close matches, Shorty Ruiz defeating Luis Moreno up to this point, 9-8 in game number 1. Now,
leading.
It's only, well, defeating to this point.
Oh. Defeating sounds like closure to me.
Well, he hasn't defeated. He's just defeating.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Right there, Vic was almost another point away, just a fraction away from getting another point.
0 plays 4.
Well, I'm going to circle that on my scorecard here because Vic, off to a great start, was up 4-0. Now we'll see what effect that unforced error had. Sean's one of these guys, Dave, that just jumps on you from the beginning of the match. And if you can somehow hang in the match, you might push him enough to where his level drops and, you're competitive. But you have to go beyond that threshold, which is about 20 minutes for Sean, because he's like a tiger. He'll jump on you and try and rip your arms and legs off. But if you're able to it's kind of like if you face Mike Tyson, if you can get through those first 2 or 3 rounds, you have a chance to win.
Short.
Not many people can, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Now, talk about matches. As we watch this rally here, you played Anthony Celesto in the round of 16, Dave, earlier, and jumped out to a big lead in game number 1, I believe, winning 15-3, and then game 2, Anthony started pecking away, and I believe the scores were 15-3 or 15-2, and then 15-13
2
in
plays
game
4.
number 2.
Well, he was doing most of the pecking in that second game. I was up 14-0 in the first game, and he was up 13-8 in the second game.
Huh. Sort of like this is sort of the same match that you and Anthony played. So people
except when he got up 13-8, he accused me of picking up a double bounce, at which I didn't take all that kindly to that.
And then you went on to win.
Yeah.
So there has to be some controversy in here for it to be more of the same. Did you hit a ball behind your back that hit a crack?
No.
Smirk at the crowd?
Side out.
Anthony made some
2 plays 4.
unbelievable gets. My first match point, Dave, I don't want to make this all about me, but I hit my best shot of the match that I thought the match was over. He comes out of nowhere, diving into the right side wall and picks it up. I couldn't even believe it. And not only picks it up, but he did something with it and ends up winning that rally. And then made a terrible unforced error.
4 plays 4.
Shocking on the very next shot.
Now Sean catches up with Vic Perez here tied at 4. This is bonus coverage, round of 16. This is where we work out all of our kinks.
We also thank our tournament host, Omar Lemus, who's our tournament director, Ron Cole, who's an incredible handball contributor. Had a chance to sit with him last night where he treated 60 people to dinner last night, Dave.
That was incredible.
4 plays 4.
Loves handball, Ron Cole, and he's being inducted into the Southwest Handball Hall of Fame tonight. Well deserved. All of his buddies from the last 40 years are here to support him, including some of your friends, Dave. Rick Christian.
I have friends.
Well, I use that term very loosely because I also have the same situation. And I also want to thank Edel Handball, Dave. Ben Edel is here. He's debuted a new orange shirt, which I'm telling you right now, Dave, is the most comfortable shirt I've ever worn. I mean, this thing just feels like it's part of my skin.
5 plays 4.
I mean, I've never even been comfortable in my own skin, and now I am because of this shirt.
No, I've never been. That was a screen. That was never comfortable around you before.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your skin, but just being comfortable.
Yeah.
In general.
6 plays 4.
6-4 now, Lenning. Yeah, we have so many more sponsors, more than that even, and it's hard to even name them all. Sean thought he was going to flip it to the back wall, goes with that little flip.
Art Howe, Dave, a good friend of yours, was also sitting next to you at dinner last night.
Timeout.
Really?
40
7-4.
years in the major
1 minute.
leagues.
Sean will be
How
serving.
many World Series rings does he have?
Unfortunately, Dave, the same amount as Don Mattingly.
Okay. So, in other words, I just said the one thing that ruined everything.
That's how you do it.
That's why they invite me.
Sean Lenning on a 7-point run right now. We circled that pair by Vic Perez at 4-0, and it's been lights out since then.
Yeah, that would have put him at 5-0 and still serving, and then Sean just decided that, well, it's my turn. And Sean Lenning is rolling here in game number 2. Another great match coming up after this one. It'll be at the top of the hour every hour until we get rid of the round of 16 here on a Friday. And that 6 p.m. match is actually a great one. Danny Cordova and Abraham Montego.
I'm looking forward to that.
Now, as we always say, we're looking forward to these matches. Anything could happen.
7
you
plays
see the
4.
crowd overlooking at the other match. That's the Luis Moreno Shorty Ruiz match.
Yeah.
Point.
Well, what's cool
8
is there's a
plays
TV
4.
over at that court as well, so they can watch both matches by being over on the Shorty Ruiz Luis Moreno court.
Well, maybe I should go over
Point.
You are a
9
man of the
plays
people.
4.
9 straight points now for Sean Lenning.
Screen ball.
Okay.
9-4.
Now, the players so far in the tournament here have not been very vocal. I didn't watch your match, but I haven't heard any
10-4.
talking amongst the players so far in the 2 broadcasts that we've had.
No.
Not like I come here to watch people talk, but you'd think somebody would say one word out there.
Even I didn't say a word today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Side out.
I've realized I'm not fit enough to yell.
4
at
plays
this tournament.
10.
Yeah. You find out the older you get, the less you talk.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to breathe.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to breathe and yell at somebody at the same time. That's why Vegas is such an interesting tournament, because you have so much you want to say but can't say it.
Sean just made an amazing get there.
you
And now
serious?
a backhanded flip for his 11th consecutive
Side out.
point.
But Sean's smart enough to take a
10
little bit
plays
off
4.
that. He knows that if he hits it too hard, it's going to be a setup.
When you play Sean,
Point.
it just feels like he can score
11
11
plays
points in a
4.
row at anytime he feels like it. It's not a great feeling as an opponent of Sean. I've introduced Sean at a number
Point.
of exhibitions we've done recently
12-4.
as the former number 1 on his way back to number 1.
Yeah.
That's my title for him. And I don't think it's far-fetched. He's coming into a point of the season where he doesn't have a lot of
4
points to
plays
defend
12.
as a top player. 1 point here, 1 point in New York, 3 points in Denver. He picks up those amount of points in one tournament normally. That's a 1 semifinal finish.
Yeah, that's good.
So he's just piling on the points there. Now you take a guy like Nadia Alvarado. He's defending semifinal points from New York,
The point. 5
Denver,
plays
and
12.
Salt Lake City. So if he doesn't
Short.
duplicate those incredible performances, he's out of the top 10.
Second serve.
Yeah.
Mondo Ortiz, another guy
6 plays
that's
12.
got a lot of points coming up. Semifinal finisher
Short.
in New York and Denver and Salt Lake City.
So we
Second
could have
serve.
some late season drama
Yeah.
based on how well people did at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Imagine a guy like Paul Brady if you were able to get picked
Point.
off at a place like New York in the round of 16, and then the
7
stop.
plays 12.
You know, you start looking at things like that, and you say, he got 8 points or
Short.
10 points at this tournament, and he didn't get any.
Yeah.
You know, and Paul doesn't play playoff matches.
Second
Right.
serve.
This might be one of those things where, you know, I'm not saying Paul's going to lose, but
Yeah.
this is how drastic it could be. You lose 10 points somewhere.
Well, you know, conversely, Paul didn't play here last year, so he just picks up basically bonus points here.
Well, Paul's number 1 after this
Yeah,
tournament,
no
no matter
matter
what.
what.
Yeah. Talking to Marco Chavez, he said he would
Timeout.
take that
8 plays
San
12
Francisco
when we resume,
invite
1
if given
minute.
to him, and it looks like with that win earlier, he's getting close to being par
It's
from last year.
well, actually, he had. That's true. Hit 3.5 last year. He's going to stay exactly where he is, but somebody like Stephen Cooney could win today and possibly jump in there.
Well, yeah, possibly so. I mean, that's I'm saying he's right on the cusp of being in that
Oh, okay.
discussion, and I said, you know, just within a few hours, we'll probably know whether or not you would be an automatic invite to San Francisco. He goes, well, I already made my reservation, so I'm going either way, whether it's a qualifier or not.
Yeah.
So we're
A
going
lot will depend on that Abraham Montijo match potentially as well.
Right.
Because you've got Nadia Alvarado is going to take the invite. That pushes one spot out, which leaves only one spot open if Nadia takes that invite.
It really does come down. Our next stop in San Francisco comes down to what happens with Cooney, Marco Chavez,
Iglesias.
and Iglesias.
Possibly
and even,
Iglesias.
All right, guys.
Possibly. And Abraham.
Long shot for him.
Player zooms.
Well,
8,
Iglesias,
12.
if he beats Emmett, will be in a great position. That's a tall ass, though.
Well, let's see what happens. You know, if Abraham and Cooney both lost in this round, it looks like Marcos, he would be at least in the round
9,
of 8
plays
playoffs
12.
playing for 5th place.
Yeah, he couldn't lose.
The other
he really
guys would
wouldn't
be
lose
playing
any
for
points.
9th.
Yeah.
There's a lot of math involved here. Now, there's a big controversy in handball right now.
Oh, okay.
Look like
Let's hear about that.
I heard that somebody deflated some air
10,
in this handball. They call it inflate.
What actually happened was he had a different kind of handball in his pocket. He was serving with it.
I see.
And he said, well, it doesn't affect them. I'm the one serving.
Who's the he?
Well,
okay.
I'm like Bill Belichick. I don't have any idea about anything.
Okay.
I'm just...
Well, a genius that knows everything. Except for you don't.
But pretends I'm not a genius by any means.
No. That was a great shot. Look at the score right now. 11-12.
Sean had scored 12 points in a row, and now it's Vic scoring 7 in a row. So this is a streak of 4, 12, and 7. All points scored consecutively by these two players.
Not sure what's happening over in that Luis Moreno court versus Shorty Ruiz, but certainly we'll find out soon.
This is what happened when Vic Perez beat Mondo in Tucson a couple months ago. He lost the first game. He was down the second game, down match point as a matter of fact, 14-12. Came back and won that in overtime. Then he wins the tiebreaker after being down 8-2. This is what Vic does. That's why you can never give Vic an opening.
That was a point. 11 plays 12.
Terrible shot there from Sean. But Vic does.
Sean got that.
Vic will
Sean,
be.
2 bounces. Thank you.
Oh, Sean calls 2 bounces. Vic was given it to him.
I don't know about that. Oh, I don't know if that was if he called 2 bounces. Vic has already walked back to receive the serve, and I think Vic was on top of it. I think he knows.
Well, the referee said thank you, so I'm surprised if maybe he's saying thank you to Vic. Vic said he got it, possibly. But
I think he did get it, and I think Vic will be lying awake at night thinking about that opportunity. He should have tied the score at 12 there on the easiest shot you can have in handball. Instead, he doesn't put it down and gives Sean a re-kill. Now, I could just be just please, let's go back to 5 seconds ago before I said any of that.
So
let's go back to that time.
It was 2 bounces. Now
Please.
Sean's going to get a glove change here.
His gloves.
We're going to take a very quick break here in the broadcast booth and be back in about 1 minute for Dave Fink, Dave Vincent. We have the conclusion of game number 2 coming up right around the corner. Stick with us here at racefor8.com.
Play will resume. 12 plays 12.
We are back tied up at 12. That was 2 bounces. Sean called it on himself.
Wow, what a serve.
And Sean dives in, and Perez gets the 13th point. Sean was walking away with this.
13 plays 12.
Sean scored 12 consecutive points, was walking away, and now...
Oh, my gosh. Dave, is it the Houston Lenning curse? I mean, I had already etched him in as breaking the jinx.
14 plays 12.
Sean might just want to...
Short.
Oh, I mean, it's going to go tiebreaker, it looks like, and possibly
you know,
when win by 2. But
when you're up 14 to 12, you actually have more confidence because you know even if I blow this, he's got to get all the way to 16.
Yeah,
a strange thing, but Vic had to do more with that.
Wow, Sean just...
That was a skip.
That was no good, Sean.
And Sean knows it.
15, 12.
Dave, we're going 3.
Yeah, I'm in awe. We're going to take a break. We'll be back, and I'll be in awe during the break as well. So stick around. More action here. Race for 8. Opening round bonus coverage here at racefor8.com. Stick with us. We'll have the tiebreaker next.
Short.
Back in Houston, Texas.
Second serve.
At the Family YMCA for game number 3. This is the tiebreaker, Sean Lenning and Vic Perez, and Sean quickly just gives that to Vic, but
hello.
Strange
0 plays 0.
set of circumstances there, Dave,
Short.
where Sean was up fairly big, 12-4.
Yeah, he had scored 12 points in a row. It looked like he was just coasting. And now you could see this tiebreaker going any way. You could see Sean blowing him out, not being surprised. You could see Vic winning it and not being surprised. And this is really anybody's game here.
Zero play zero. Point.
Vic found himself in the right position there. Sean hit it right
One
in front of
play
him.
zero.
It was just too good. 1-0, Sean up here. It's best 2 out of 3 to 15, win by 2. Dave, I know that you went out there. Let's watch that rally ender there.
Yeah, it
Side
was
out.
Luis Moreno winning game 1, 15-11.
Zero plays one.
Dave, as an athlete, and I know that you have been for your whole life, sometimes when you put so much into your sport, so much training and thinking about this, can that actually be to your detriment?
I think so, yeah.
It puts more pressure on you sometimes.
Yeah. The score should read 1-0 in favor of Sean Lenning, who's now serving. But
One play zero.
it's sort of like that Dave Chapman syndrome with the Ultimate Showdown 2003, 2004 with the PHA, where he lost weight to try to win this $50,000. It took him out of his comfort zone, and he lost to Paul Brady there.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't comfortable with his body, and you know, this is a new body, this is a new mentality for Sean Lenning. He has learned how to play out of shape and stay competitive, but does Sean Lenning know how to play while he's in shape? And those at home could be shaking their head saying, well, Vincent has no clue, which is true, but Vincent has no clue what he's talking about. But, I mean, Sean Lenning just seems to be better because he takes chances when he's out of shape.
Huge setup here for Vic. And Sean's getting his hand on these balls, and it's just when the momentum's not going your way, you get your hand on it, it doesn't go back. When it's going your way, you get your hand on it, and they're rolling out.
2 plays 1.
Oh, what a shot. Sean loads up and takes a full swing on a return of serve off the bounce. That's not easy to do, Dave.
Yeah, that's tough.
And Sean just misses that.
Sean's not happy with himself very much right now.
Sean's a poker player, so you never quite know. And I saw him outside just now. He looked like, you know, he might just be walking around 5 hours before his match. Didn't look to be bothered at all. He was so close to winning that match just a few minutes prior.
Yeah, that was the conclusion. There is one that you literally want to pull your hair out of your head.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sean, maybe that's not the best analogy, but I mean,
Vic's in control now.
Well, Vic is just crushing the ball.
Yeah, but he's not taking advantage of some opportunities in this rally. You know, Dave, all it takes is to lose about 10% of your conditioning, and all of a sudden you can't kill anything. Your game doesn't just drop 10%, it drops 50%.
And Sean loses that rally?
Well, that was a 23-shot rally. He was exhausted at the end of that rally. He had gone front to back and side to side, and he was tired.
I don't think Sean's happy. He thought that Vic picked up a ball back there, I think. I think the body language from Sean is just in that rally indicated that he thought Vic got that ball on 2 when he flipped it up. Vic was kind of slow. You know, there's that body language when you hit a ball and your opponent, what you think is maybe a double, and they sort of like give up immediately, where you're thinking they're waiting for the referee to say something, they're waiting for you to look at them, and then they play through and you end up losing, and then you look back, you got that? You know?
Yeah.
Now you see Sean walking up and saying something to Vic here. But you can see clearly that if Vic doesn't jump up immediately and play that next shot, he's not sold that whether or not he got it. And he flat kills that one in the left, and now he has another point now at 4-1.
That's an amazing shot there.
Yeah, that was
Vic.
A beautiful shot.
4 plays 1.
What a lot of people don't realize about Vic is it's 4-1 is the score on the scoreboard here. But they don't realize that he's playing Marco Chavez, Mondo Ortiz, Vince Munoz, and Shorty Ruiz all at the LAAC multiple times a week.
Okay.
When you're around that talent, we always talk about how great Tucson Racket Club is.
Yeah.
With Sean and Luis, yourself, and Abraham. But, I mean, if you had a TRC versus a LAAC,
That's in talks. I know you're not part of those talks, but
I don't talk.
no.
I act. Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, that's you're going to start learning how to play handball. That's exactly what Vic Perez has done.
Well, this isn't the best time to talk about those potential matchups, but you're right, Dave.
1 plays 5.
And it's no different than the guys in Chicago as well, who also have
Point.
a lot of great competition.
2 plays 5.
And you see the best players coming out of the same places for that reason. Sean with a much-needed ace there. Gets himself going.
This is about the point where Sean started scoring points in game number 2.
You're right. Vic hits Sean on the way in there. That was a pretty good opportunity for Vic to take control of the rally.
2 plays 5.
That ball just flattens out.
Terrible shot there from Sean.
Hold on, I'm going to call hinder ball.
I agree. There's a little bit of contact.
2 plays 5.
There is a job posting, Dave, with the WPH, and I know that it'll be online, but we'll also offer here. We're looking for a full-time head ref at Race for 8 events.
3
You'll be
plays 5.
trained, schooled, and tested by the WP, and if you pass, the job could be yours. Apply now.
Your only qualification is that you're old enough to work
Yeah.
and you're
4 plays
legal.
5.
And you're not blind.
Okay, well,
So there's a few, actually.
just giving you a little different angle that we have available.
Oh, great shot from Sean.
Sean slides in, gets the paddle re-kill.
And now a timeout from Vic.
Timeout.
Both guys
You got together at 5.
wearing their
Your first timeout.
Houston Race for 8 jerseys. Really good-looking jerseys, Dave. Want to thank once again Omar Lemus, our tournament director, who does things right here. He's got a great team behind him, and he himself is the leader of that team, the point man. Brings people in, Dave, from all over the country for this great event. You see Luis Cordova, originally from Mexico, now living in Pensacola, Florida. Bob Kaluta, Dave, one of our former WPH Pro Stop hosts in New Orleans. That was one word. You've got Randy Maltak, Dave, a very good friend of yours from the great Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, the home of the Race for 8 1 and 2 Players Championships. Just spectacular events there at the Washington Athletic Club.
Five plays 5.
And now we're going to 10, Dave. Win by 2.
6 plays 5.
Dave, you're a guy that's always had such a great serve. What a huge advantage, I think, in a tiebreaker when things are tight and you can rip off 2 or 3 aces, get those free points, and not have to really work for them when you're under pressure. And Sean's already got 2 aces here early in this tiebreak. Make that 3 aces.
Point.
And now Sean is rolling.
8 plays 5.
Boy, Sean's in his system now.
Point.
Vic took
9
that
plays
timeout,
5.
and it's been
Short.
ice-cold Perez since, and white-hot Sean Lenning.
Second serve.
You hear a lot of these pro players, Dave, say, you know, Sean Lenning was just hitting that deep 2-wall crack, and I couldn't even return it. And when I did, it was such a big setup.
5 plays 9.
It's almost like his second serve is better than his first.
Right.
Short ball. Second serve.
Luis Moreno also has that serve, but it seems like Luis's comes around the back wall. Not that it's a setup, but it's just not as difficult to return as Sean's, that stays so low and deep with so much pace.
9 plays 5.
Oh, Mo. Very strange shot there. Just squelched on that left side wall.
10 plays 5.
Unlucky for Vic.
Short. Second serve.
The ball sounded like it snapped in half.
Yeah, it was Sean Lenning winning the first game 15-7, losing game number 2 15-12 after leading 12-4. And now Vic Perez, who took a 5-1 lead here in the tiebreaker, now finds himself trailing 10-5. Vic Perez is a captain comeback. He came back against Mondo Ortiz from 8-2 in the tiebreaker in Tucson to win that 15-8.
And then you said that Luis Moreno, Shorty Ruiz, it went to Moreno in the first game 15-13, 15-11?
15-11 is what I heard, yeah. That's unofficial, but he did win that first game.
Both of the players get a little breather here. Tomorrow we'll be on ESPN, the Watch ESPN app, streaming live on your smart device, on your smart TVs. There's a lot of people coming up saying, we're just watching on smart TVs now. I mean, we don't even have to, it's one of the channels we have. I know that one of our board of directors has it on Hulu Plus, which is just an app.
Yeah.
And it's part of the regular channel system, so you just push the button and there it is. So a lot of players, a lot of people are experiencing it on their TVs and feeling like they're actually watching real live TV, which is, I guess, the case anyway.
That was a terrible serve from Vic Perez. He has an opportunity to do some damage here in this tiebreaker and hits a huge setup on a first serve. But no, you're right, Dave. Handball is so accessible now to watch. There's nothing like it. I hope someday I can kick back from my couch and watch a live broadcast after I get my pink slip.
Well, I'm trying to get you there.
How are you going to do the pink slip, though? I mean, is this going to be like just a pink slip on my desk, or maybe set up nicely like I walk into the office and there's a nice path
the ref. Okay,
and it leads me right to a pink slip?
We're going to appeal to the booth on that for a replay, if possible.
Like a text message.
I called it short. Sean Lenning would like an appeal on that.
Okay, let's go to our our broadcast van and get a replay of that short ball. Sean doesn't think it was short. He's going to use his one appeal in our replay booth, if we can, of the serve itself. Linda Manning, give us the replay of that.
Give me just a sec here.
Short ball. Dave, so Sean Lenning's using his appeal on a short ball, and a little surprised he's doing it, but he is.
Well, now I'm learning something. I mean, this really takes a long time. This is better than a timeout.
Let's get rid of the sound. We don't need the sound on the replay, but we just need to see whether it made it over the line. And she's going to go in super slow-mo here. The ball's going to stop right over the line. So that ball was good, and we're going to let the referee know.
Yeah.
So the ball was good.
Ball was good. 2 serves, 11 plays 5.
Well, now that I know the referee can hear us talking.
Well, we actually have New York piped in to our camera person, who receives word from New York, and the camera person then gives the word to our referee. So it's a pretty good system. We're not even involved.
Well, so far, referees are at 0%, 100% turnover on the instant replay.
Well, you know what they say. There has to be conclusive evidence, and there was.
13 plays 5.
I heard one of those stats during that playoff game last week in the NFL, and that second AFC, I guess the AFC playoff game, where they said that over the whole season,
check the ball,
the referees were overturned, and the number was
5 plays 13.
Surprisingly more than I would have thought. Their success rate was, like 79%. I'm thinking that's 21% of the time you're getting overturned. That's a pretty big number. And maybe it isn't, but it just seemed like
so.
It seems, well, the referees are making a mistake 21% of the time. That's,
well, I mean, is it a mistake when Des Bryant, is about to take his team to the Super Bowl and you called it a catch?
Second serve.
Clearly was. I mean, that was overturned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's one of the 21%. Look at Sean.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful little paddle underhand scoop that he gets into the left corner for another point.
Great
Side
rally
out.
there from both
13,
guys.
plays 6. Short.
And for those viewing at home that's wondering, what's up with these
Second
crazy
serve.
camera angles? Well, the back wall just has a lot of film, a lot of white dots, and it's hard to pick up on our camera. Sean dives down, misses that ball. Side out,
Go ahead
Perez
and
serving.
Circle that on your scorecard because Vic has shown
Side out.
that if he can get himself in the service box, he can do damage. Now he'll need a monumental comeback here, but we saw one in the qualifier final
6,
today.
plays 13.
We saw Adam Bernhardt come back from 24 to 20 to win that match.
I'm going to say hello to Mappa and Henry. Excuse me, Harry. I say it every single time.
Yeah.
Your son is Henry.
Right. And you
Mappa's
say that
son.
every time,
13,
too.
plays 6.
That's how I say it.
Yeah.
Harry and Mappa in Australia, Melbourne, watching
out.
the live broadcast. In Australia, it's already tomorrow there.
Yeah, well, they're also watching the tennis from Rod Laver Arena on their smartphone watching the handball. How
Yeah.
can you beat
6,
that?
plays 13.
Pretty good. Is it tomorrow or is it yesterday already? There, one of the
Tomorrow.
two, 18 hours difference.
Yeah. They're down there at your favorite spot, Dave, St. Kilda Beach.
My favorite spot is wherever Vic DeLuzio isn't when I'm down there. So
Yeah.
that second favorite spot.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not here to judge. I'm here
No.
to love. But
Yeah.
for that moment, it was
13
a lot of
plays 6.
judging.
Yeah.
Point.
Now it's another point. Sean one away from advancing here in the
Possible match
tiebreaker of the round
point,
of
play
16. And it
6.
looks like Sean Lenning's got the monkey off his
Start
back
ball.
Yeah.
for the first time in 3 years.
This will be his first time
Second serve.
advancing past the first round in Houston.
I know that's going to make the boiler.
Great match,
And
gentlemen.
there it is. Sean puts his hand out. Referee gives it to him. Vic Perez concedes that there is no hinder call, and Sean Lenning advances, winning the first one 15-7, losing the second one 12-15, and then taking that last one by the score of 15
to 6.
15-6. Yeah, let's put that little 6 there. Now we have Dan Cordova from the southwest of America, down in Juarez or El Paso, and
Yeah.
now living up in Chicago, Illinois, going up against one of those guys that he looked up to. He's competed against Abraham Montijo. Both of them playing good, inspired handball at the moment. That's going to be right around the corner in about 10 minutes. So we're going to have you stick around for that. We'll be back for Dave Fink, Dave Vincent. More action here. More round of 16. Bonus coverage coming up here at racefor8.com. Stick with us.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.